Thank God it's Friday. Welcome back, my friends of the channel. Welcome back to my beautiful rideshare revolutionaries. It's me, Gio, the man, the myth, and the machine. And as you've probably noticed, my appearance has been altered slightly in the last few days. Yesterday morning, I said goodbye to my beard. I have reinitiated my jiu-jitsu training, and I plan on training at least 6, 7, 8 times a week. And the beard was it was too much of a hassle. It was getting in my mouth while I was training. It looked like a bomb went off after I was training. It would just be too much of a headache to deal with, so I decided just as a way for me to kind of mentally prepare myself for what I'm planning on enduring. Now that I've started my training, I've shaved everything off. I shaved my face, I shaved my head again, totally clean slate. I'm a bit of a weirdo. I don't know, I think I only can do things in extremes, honestly. Like, I work in extremes, I play in extremes, I train in extremes. I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. So it's either I do nothing at all or I go 100%. So that's why my appearance is different. But it's not the point of this video. The point of this video isn't a RIP to my beard. I think this one, I've been meaning to make this video for a while, right? I think one of the challenges for the rideshare community is that a lot of drivers, I don't even know how many drivers there are around the country. Let's just say in Chicago, there's probably 70,000. So around the country, let's just say 900,000 drivers. A million. Yeah. Let's say 1 million drivers, right? Out of those 1 million drivers, how many of you are looking at the big picture, right? How many of you, how many of you take the good with the bad? How many of you really analyze what you're doing out there and, try to break it down and try to improve and kind of and this is another thing that you guys have to understand about me too, is I used to work for corporate America, right? Like my semi-corporate sales job, I know how corporations think. That's why I don't always try to play devil's advocate, but I understand why Uber and Lyft and all these apps make the choices they make, because most businesses are in business to make money. That doesn't give them a free pass to treat the drivers the way they do or to undercut drivers or anything like that. But most of them are looking for a way to increase their profit margins, especially when Uber isn't even profitable at the moment, right? So, but in terms of what you guys are doing, I think you guys should take a good long look at what you're doing and how much money you're making and how it affects the apps, and then you can make a decision of how you're going to improve from there, right? So today we're going to talk about going through and checking your fares on both apps and why I think it's a good thing. So for example, on Uber, this is pretty simple. For Uber, check your fares. You go into your trips. You can either go into the daily breakdown or into your trip breakdown. So for example, my last trip yesterday was a pool. I was definitely going for pools yesterday because I needed to hit Quest. So yesterday, my last trip for 12 minutes paid $6.43, and you check your fare by going down there to fare details, right? So for this trip, yeah, see, luckily there's no addresses being shown on Uber anymore. So for this trip, I got paid $6.43. The passenger paid $5.60. So Uber lost. So you see that after I'm assuming that was some kind of promotion they're offering for the service adjustment and the diamond reward payment and the booking fee. Uber lost $1, right? And Aon got 17 cents of optional insurance. That's how you check your fare details on Uber, and this is how you do it for Lyft. Lyft's a little different. You can't just go into your trips like that for Lyft. At least I don't think you can, right? Let's check. I'm pretty sure you have to go into the oh no, you can. Yeah, you can do it straight from the app. So I didn't think you could before. So for this one, this is my last Lyft trip. I got the request as 5:23, finished it in 5:38, so it's 15 minutes total. And earnings breakdown, if it loads. So there you go. So for that one, the rider paid $7.59, so Lyft received $3.32, right? That's how you check your fares on both Uber and Lyft. And that's my full name. Do not add me on Facebook. I will not respond. I've told you guys. That's me. That's my personal zone. Respect my privacy, please. Okay. So what I've been doing for the last month or so, right? Well, I was doing this only for Uber, and then I started doing Lyft more. So what I started doing was I started going through every single trip, and I started adding or subtracting what Uber and Lyft received or lost, right, to the total. Like, and I do it like this. Let me show you. So I'm going to my Instagram. So this is what I did. This is gonna look shitty as fuck. I might have to rotate this one. Yeah, let's rotate this one for this one, guys. All right. So this is what I do, and I put this on my Instagram every week. Now that I've been updating my Instagram more. So each day that I drove, I take the amount I made on the app. And so, for example, on that Monday of December 3rd, I made $109 on Uber, $96.30 on Lyft, and Uber received $36.46, and Lyft received $38.85. And down the line, I do that every single day for all my rides, every single one. So I take that total. So for the last week, Uber received total $320.04, and I subtract the promo money, right? What they paid me in promo money. So, and that left them with $82.49. So out of my total fares, I made $1434.97 on the app. Uber kept about 5.7% of what I made, right? The same thing with Lyft. Lyft kept about Lyft received what they kept from the passengers compared to what I earned, $82.92 minus $49 of promo money, so $33.92, and that left them with 11% of $300, right? That's what I made on Lyft. And the reason I do that and show that is because this is still me annoyed from the pay driver's fare thing. I thought that was the stupidest protest ever because many of you were not looking at the big picture. You would look at one ride and be like, oh my God, they took 70% of my fare on one ride. Well, no, they didn't. They overcharged the passenger 7% of what, like they overcharged the passenger way more than what you were supposed to get on your miles and your minutes. So that's why I started doing this. And I think as a good exercise for me, like for example, I have had weeks where Lyft overcharged passengers like 40% of what I made after promo. But I understood, like, I don't drive for Lyft as much, so this kind of, when you're a part-timer, you're definitely more impacted by how much the apps keep versus how much you make. So, but as a full-timer, like, this is not so bad. If Uber kept 5.7% of $1,434 and Lyft kept 11% of $300, like, that's livable. But I'm also belong to the camp. I personally think Uber and Lyft should go back to the way they used to do it, where they would charge the passenger 100% of the miles and minutes, and we keep 80%. Just because I think everyone's happy that way. It's more transparent. Uber and Lyft still get to make money, and we get to keep a fair amount of what we deserve, right? That's me. Some of you can feel free to disagree with that. You probably will. But another reason I think all of you should do this, right, in my opinion, is because if you go through your earnings and let's say one week you made $1,200 on Uber and you check your fare details and you add and subtract everything that Uber received, and they kept like $450 extra, then you are completely in the right to not want to drive for them. because they are price gouging the passengers and you aren't making enough. So when you do that, you can make a choice, and you can back it up with proof. You're like, why would I continue to drive for a company that is price gouging these passengers so much and I'm making so little, right? Because I honestly don't think complaining is going to work. Complaining, protesting, strikes have not worked, and I don't think they're going to work, only because they're really hard to organize. So I think on a personal level, you could choose, if this isn't worth it for you, if you feel like you're not being paid enough and Uber and Lyft are keeping too much, then you have the choice to get out. And I think that's respectable. So yeah, that's all I got for this one, guys. So to kind of like rewind, I think all of you should definitely oh yeah, check this out. So I try to be as analytical as possible. So last week, total earnings divided by hour, so $23.87 on Uber, $24.30 on Lyft, and my per ride average was $11.76 and $10.71. Not the best week ever, but not horrible either. But I do think you guys, definitely, the driving community should try to look at your earnings and your promos and everything like that. Look at the big picture, right? That's when you should decide, is this worth it to me? You know, is this a good way to, is this a good side hustle? Is this a good full-time gig for me or not? Simple as that. And I do think if you break down your earnings week by week, trip by trip, I know it takes, I mean, all this took an hour. This takes an hour each week. It takes an hour to go through 160 rides, add and subtract, and then, you know, it takes a minute. But I do it to reflect. I want to know exactly how much I make compared to how much the apps make, and is this reasonable, right? And so far, I think it is, at least for me. But then I got my full-timers, so I get more promo money than part-timers do, and I'm in a major market, so we get bigger promos in smaller markets. So, like I said, all of you can choose to take this information whatever we want, but I personally think all of you should go through your earnings and then make a choice. And then that's it. That's all I got for this one, guys. I'm gonna upload another one really quick right after this one. So everyone, please stay safe, stay driven, stay classy, and if you got a beard, stay bearded. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.